Hey friends, welcome back to another College Sports Corner episode. I'm Barry. Hey, we're one day away. We've made it through all these weeks. We've made it through all these months. One day away. Tomorrow starts. We got 6 games. A couple pretty good ones there to keep your eye on. We'll go over that. Today we're going to finish up our conference overviews. SEC, Sun Belt. I'm going to do my week 0 rant. You don't want to miss that. And hey, if you like this, tell your friends, tell your family, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything. And let's get started with some news, okay? Pac-12 announced it will not be looking to expand anytime soon. Kind of thought maybe with the alliance they would look at maybe adding some teams, but I guess that's not going to be it. Add Boston College now to the list of schools who are not going to allow fans into home games without a vaccine proof or COVID negative proof. Hey, Georgia Bulldog legend Herschel Walker announced he's going to run for U.S. Senate. Good for him. It's been reported today that the Big 12 officials are meeting to talk about expansion. There's also reports that BYU is a strong candidate to be invited into the Big 12. We'll see what happens with that. Texas A&M defensive end Michael Clemens suspended indefinitely. He was arrested, I think they said yesterday. Whole list of charges, but 8 days away from the season, he's going to be a no-go. So kind of sucks for Aggie fans and Aggie players altogether. All right, let's get started with these last 2 conferences, then we'll get into some other things. All right, SEC, Alabama Crimson Tide, 13-0, 10-0 conference, beat Florida in the SEC championship game, beat Notre Dame in the college football playoff game, semifinal, beat Ohio State, won the national championship. I think we all know that. 13 starters coming back, 3 on offense, 7 on defense, the kicker and the punter. Non-conference includes Miami, Mercer, Southern Miss, and New Mexico State. A lot of people talk about that first game, that nobody's given Miami enough credit. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Hey, you never know. Miami might jump up and surprise people, but should be pretty interesting. Georgia Bulldogs, 8-2, 7-2 in conference, beat Cincinnati in the Peach Bowl. 13 starters coming back, 7 on offense, 4 on defense. Kicker and the punter. Non-conference includes, right off the bat, that Clemson game, which now, with all these injuries Georgia's having, doesn't look as good of a game as it was going to be, but hey, who knows? I mean, we'll see what happens there. UAB, who's a good team. Charleston Southern and Georgia Tech, their rival, cross-state rival. They usually play, I think, either the Friday after Thanksgiving or Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's usually a pretty good game. Texas A&M, 9-1, 8-1 in conference. North Carolina beat North Carolina in the Orange Bowl. Their last conference title was 1998 in the old Big 12, beat Kansas State. I think it was in the Alamo Dome or maybe in St. Louis. I forget which one it was. 17 starters coming back, 6 on offense, 9 on defense, kicker and the punter. Non-conference includes Kent State, Colorado, New Mexico, and Prairie View A&M, which is just down the road from Texas A&M. Florida Gators, 8-4, 8-2 in conference. Lost to Alabama in the Southeastern Conference Championship game. Lost to Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl. Last conference title was 2008. I believe Tim Tebow and Urban Meyer were there at that time. 9 starters coming back, 4 on offense, 5 on defense. Non-conference includes Florida Atlantic, South Florida, Samford, and Florida State. They're a big rival at the end of the year. LSU Tigers, 5-5, 5-5. Conference no bowl. LSU is one of those teams I call the COVID curse. That's usually a good team, but they had a bad year because of COVID, along with Wisconsin, Penn State, and several others. So I fully expect LSU to bounce back to be their normal selves this year. 17 starters, 8 on offense, 8 on defense, and the kicker. Non-conference includes UCLA, that first game right off the bat, McNeese State, Central Michigan, and Louisiana Monroe. Interesting game that McNeese State. Coach Ogeron's son is the quarterback for McNeese State. So that kind of a little interesting extra storyline there. Auburn Tigers, 6-5, 6-4 in conference, lost to Northwestern in the Citrus Bowl. 15 starters coming back, 7 on offense, 7 on defense, plus the kicker. Non-conference includes Akron, Alabama State, Penn State, and Georgia State. And that I think a Penn State game, that might be a pretty good game. See if Penn State is back from the COVID curse, and we'll see how Auburn does under the new coach. Ole Miss Rebels, 5-5, 4-5 in conference, beat Indiana in the Outback Bowl. Last conference title was 1963. That was a while back. 13 starters coming back, 8 on offense, 4 on defense, and the punter. Non-conference includes Louisville, Austin Peay, Tulane, and Liberty. Liberty's a good team. Ole Miss might want to watch out for that one. Missouri Tigers, 5-5, 5-5 in conference, no bowl. Last conference title was 1960, looks like 9 in the old Big 8 conference. That was a while back. 16 starters coming back, 8 on offense, 6 on defense, kicker and the punter. Non-conference includes Central Michigan, Southeast Missouri, Boston College, and North Texas. Mississippi State Bulldogs, 4-7, 3-7 conference, beat Tulsa in the Armed Forces Bowl. Last conference title, 1941. I didn't realize that. 16 starters coming back, 7 on offense, 7 on defense, kicker and the punter. Non-conference includes Louisiana Tech, North Carolina State, Memphis, and Tennessee State. Remember that first game last year when Mississippi State was all over LSU, and for a week there, everybody was all over Mississippi State, how they were the next big thing in the SEC, and then they kind of fell apart there during the rest of the season. So maybe after having spring practice and summer workouts and fall practice under their belt, maybe they can get to that level that people were talking about last year. Kentucky Wildcats, 5-6, 4-6 in conference, beat North Carolina State in the Gator Bowl. Last conference title was 1976. 12 starters coming back. 6 on offense, 5 on defense, and the kicker. Non-conference includes Louisiana Monroe, UT Chattanooga, New Mexico State, and Louisville, their rival there. I think Kentucky and Louisville used to always play like on that first week. They always played on the Sunday. The last few years they did, but I guess they moved that game to the end. Tennessee Volunteers, 3-7, 3-7 conference, no bowl. Last conference title was 1998. That was our national championship year. Oh, starters coming back. 11, 4 on offense, 6 on defense, and the punter. Non-conference includes Bowling Green, Pittsburgh, Tennessee Tech, and South Alabama. Tennessee's going to be interesting to see if Josh Heupel can bring them back to their winning ways. I'm rooting for them. Arkansas Razorbacks, 3-7, 3-7 in the conference, no bowl. Last title, 1989 in the Southwest Conference. 18 starters coming back, 8 on offense, 9 on defense, and the punter. Non-conference includes Rice, Texas, two old Southwest Conference rivals. Georgia Southern and Arkansas Pine Bluff. All right, South Carolina Gamecocks, 2-8, 2-8, no bowl. Last conference title was 1969, back when they were in the ACC conference. 11 starters coming back, 5 on offense, 4 on defense, the kicker and the punter. Non-conference includes Eastern Illinois, East Carolina, Troy, and Clemson. South Carolina is going to be another one to watch to see if Frank Beamer's son Shane can get them back to some success. Vanderbilt Commodores, 0-9, 0-9, no bowl. Last conference title was 1923, really. Boy, that was a real long time ago. 13 starters, 7 on offense, 5 on defense, and the punter. Non-conference, East Tennessee State, Colorado State, Stanford, and UConn. And that is it for the SEC. Vandy's another one of those schools that's like Kansas. You know, they've had success in other sports, but for some reason they just can't get the football going in that direction. You know, who knows? Maybe they will. They got a new coach. Maybe they will. All right. Last but not least, conference, the Sun Belt Conference. Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. I believe I've never known how to say that right. So sorry if I'm insulting you, Coastal Carolina fans. 11-1, 8-0 in conference. Chamgo against Louisiana their championship game against Louisiana was canceled, I guess due to COVID. Lost to Liberty in the Carrier Bowl. 21 starters coming back. That's pretty good. 9 on offense, 10 on defense, kicker, and the punter. Non-conference includes the Citadel, Kansas, Buffalo, and Massachusetts. Louisiana Raging Cajuns, 10-1, 7-1 in conference. Championship game canceled due to COVID. Beat UTSA in the First Responders Bowl. Starters coming back 21. Wow, that one too, huh? 21. 10 on offense, 9 on defense, and the kicker and the punter. Those two might meet up for the championship game, and maybe they'll play it this year. Non-conference includes Texas, Nicholls State, Ohio, and Liberty. Not an easy non-conference for the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Appalachian State Mountaineers, 9-3, 6-2 in conference. They beat North Texas in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. 18 starters coming out back. That's pretty good. 6 on offense, 6 on defense, or 10 on defense, and the kicker and the punter. Non-conference includes East Carolina, Miami, Alien, and Marshall. Georgia State Panthers, 6-4, 4-4 in conference. Beat Western Kentucky in the Lending Tree Bowl. 21 starters coming back, good for them. 11 on offense, 8 on defense, kicker and the punter. Non-conference includes Army, North Carolina, Charlotte, and Auburn. All right, Arkansas State Red Wolves, 4-7, 2-6 in conference, no bowl. 12 starters coming back, 5 on offense, 5 on defense, kicker and the punter. Non-conference includes Central Arkansas, Memphis, and Washington and Tulsa. Troy Trojans, 5-6, 3-4 in conference, no bowl. 18 starters coming back, 10 on offense, 8 on defense. Non-conference includes Southern, Liberty, Southern Miss, and South Carolina. Georgia Southern Eagles, 8-5, 4-4 in conference. Won the New Orleans Bowl against Louisiana Tech. 15 starters coming back, 7 on offense, 6 on defense, the kicker and the punter. Non-conference includes Garden Webb, Florida Atlantic, Arkansas, and BYU. Texas State Bobcats, 2-10, 2-6, no bowl. Last conference title, 2008 in the old Southland. 17 starters coming back, 7 on offense, 8 on defense, and the kicker and the punter. Non-conference includes Baylor, Florida International, Incarnate Word, and Eastern Michigan. South Alabama Jaguars, 4-7, 3-5 in conference, no bowl. 14 starters coming back, 4 on offense, 8 on defense, and the kicker and the punter. Non-conference includes Southern Miss, Bowling Green, Alcorn State, and Tennessee. Louisiana Monroe Warhawks, 0-10, 0-7 in conference, no bowl. Last conference titles in 2005. Starters coming back, 13, 5 on offense, 8 on defense. Non-conference includes Kentucky, Jackson State, Liberty, and LSU. And I believe Jackson State, I think they are coached by Deion Sanders now. I may be wrong, I'm not sure, but you can look it up. Hey, that's the end of our conference overviews finally. We finally get through all of them, and we're done now. Okay, tomorrow, the first week. They call it Week 0, which personally I think is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. All those teams playing tomorrow, all those games count. Those teams tomorrow, they're not going to go into next week with a 0-0 record. Those games count. Why it's not week 1, I have no idea. I don't know who came up with the week 0 term. Ever since the first time I heard it, I was like, why isn't it week 1? I mean, that's probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I mean, take for instance, if you need a new tire for your car, are you going to go to the tire shop and tell that guy behind the counter, hey, I need 0 tires? No. He's going to look at you and say, well, why the hell are you here? If you go to a football game this year, go to the concession stand and tell that person working the counter, I need 0 beers and 0 hot dogs. And just watch it, the look they're going to give you. Okay? I mean, just call it week 1. It's what it is. All these teams are playing. The games count. I mean, let's just get rid of the whole week 0 thing. I mean, I've always thought it was dumb. Maybe some of you do too. Maybe some of you don't care. But I've never gotten that whole week 0 thing. But anyway. Okay, tomorrow, 6 games on tap. Hey, it's a start. You know, football's back, so that's cool. On Fox is going to be at Nebraska at Illinois, 1 p.m. Eastern. I haven't heard a Big Ten tailgate or a Big Noon kickoff show from Fox are going to be there. I haven't seen anything. You would think they would be. I mean, it's a conference game, first game of the year. You figure one of those shows would be there, but I don't know. Who knows? One interesting thing about this game is from the coaching side. Both these coaches need this win. Scott Frost needs this win because, let's face it, he's on the hot seat. he hasn't really had the success there that most people thought he would have at Nebraska. So to me, he really needs this game. The fans really want this game. And then, but when you go to the other side of the field, Brett Bielema had all that success at Wisconsin, left for a while. Now he's back at the Big Ten, and he wants to prove that he can be successful at any program in the Big Ten coming back. So to me, the key thing is the coaches. Which one's going to come out with a win and which one's going to come out with a loss. A loss for Scott Frost would be a lot worse than a loss for Brett Bielema. But, they both want to win bad. And I don't know. We'll see what happens tomorrow. CBS Sports Network, UConn at Fresno State at 1 p.m. Eastern. Remember, UConn, they set out last year. They haven't played a game in almost 2 years. So it's going to be interesting to see if all the guys returning from 2 years ago can knock that rust off and get them back to playing in a real game. Because, all of you that watch football, whether it's college or NFL or even high school, that first week is where a lot of mistakes are made. They're knocking the rust off. They're getting back used to playing in the game. And as the season goes on, those mistakes, they tend to go down a bit. But usually the first week is when all those mistakes are made. So it's going to be interesting if UConn can knock all that rust off and get back into playing football again. Both quarterbacks in the game are good. I guess really the big question is if defenses can get through the line and stop them. Okay. Here's another one that is an interesting game. ESPN at 3:30 Eastern, Hawaii at UCLA. Chip Kelly was very successful at Oregon, but that success really hasn't followed him or transitioned over at UCLA. And I don't know what's going on there because there's a couple of good coaches that have come through UCLA that were successful at other programs, but they just couldn't do anything. Rick Neuheisel several years ago had a good career at Colorado and Washington, and then he went to UCLA and really didn't have the success he had there, and now Chip Kelly. So it's going to be interesting to see if Chip Kelly can get this thing turned around. Now, here's the kicker. Hawaii, over the years, has been known to go into a big game and steal it right out from the other team. Hawaii's not a bad team. They're a good team. So it's going to be interesting if they go in there to the Rose Bowl, UCLA's home, and steal a win out of there. That's going to be something to watch there. Don't count Hawaii out. All right. ESPN at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Eastern, Alcorn State versus North Carolina Central. Game day is going to be there, so that's going to be a big one there. Neither team played last year. That's pretty interesting. See how they're going to do after coming back from almost 2 years of playing. On Aggie, that one's on ESPN. UTEP and New Mexico State at 9:30 Eastern on Aggie Vision. I'm guessing that's New Mexico State's online watching tool or whatever site. Being from Texas, I was kind of hoping this was going to be on TV somewhere so I could see how UTEP is going to do. But anyway, that's what it is with them. And then CBS Sports Network at 10 p.m. Eastern is Southern Utah at San Jose State. San Jose State's a pretty dang good team. So there you go. That's your 6 games there. Like I said, it's not a great full weekend like we're going to get next weekend, but at least it's something to start us off with, get our toes in the water and get ready and get excited. 'Cause I'm already excited for it. So anyway, next Tuesday, we will do a review of tomorrow, and then we'll do a preview of Thursday night's games. And then for next Friday, next week, we'll do a review of Thursday night, a preview of Friday night's games, and a preview of Saturday's games. So, hey, thanks for joining us. If you like what you see, tell your friends, tell your family, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a show. Anyway, you guys have a great weekend. Be safe, be careful, and enjoy football. And we'll see you back next Tuesday. All right? Take care.